It's September, so that means a new season of plays hits the stage. Beth Kovetz meets up with a team of artists bringing a life to Playwrights' horizons.
I caught up with the playwright at the world-renowned drama bookshop.
What is A Life about?
A life is about a life. It's actually it's simple. A life is about a gay guy who's in his 50s who is trying to figure out why he hasn't got what he's wanted in life. Why doesn't he know better? Or why doesn't he, you know? Then something big happens and I won't tell you that.
It's about everything. It's sort of about life. It's about a guy trying to figure out the world and love. It's an immense little play.
I think A Life gets at the emotional landscape of what it is to be middle-aged in a sort of shocking way. I think that we need to be pushed out of our comfort zone. I think that's part of the problem of being middle-aged. And I think that the play does that viscerally.
If it's about someone middle-aged, why would she cast someone so young?
Bock's work is charming, a little absurd, and often funny.
And sometimes his work is so charming, absurd, and funny that it's easy to miss the larger implications.
When we write about great men or we write about important people, what we're kind of doing is a little bit anti-democratic in a way. You know, we're saying that these people are more important than those people. We're making this hierarchy happen. And I don't like it. It makes me feel like what we're teaching ourselves is that, no, that life is bigger, because that person has done more, or that person is better liked, or that person is more appropriate, you know, then easier to worry about them, easier to put more money towards their needs, easier to, do you know what I mean?
Right, it has significant political implications.
It does, as to who gets talked about, whose story is told. I mean, I think a lot of artists are saying, okay, we've spent a lot of time looking in this area, why can't we go look over there?
You have a lot of lucrative offers in film and television, but you still keep coming back not just to Broadway, but to off-Broadway and experimental houses. What's the draw?
I come back to the theater and I come back to off-Broadway and specifically Playwrights' Horizons because it's where I started. It's part of my DNA. It's my development as an actor. I would feel unfulfilled if I didn't get to exercise that part of me. Next season, I'm going into Hello, Dolly, which is a very traditional, you know, as traditional and spectacular as you can get in musical theater. So A Life, for me, is a wonderful opportunity to explore how theater works in exactly the opposite way.
I think that theater is where the gray area is, because in our culture and in our society, we're so black and white, and we have to be in order to move forward sometimes. And theater is the place where contradiction and complexity is reintroduced.
I tried writing a novel, and so I sat and I banged away at it, and I got something like 65,000 words. And I was like, you have to keep writing. You just don't, you have to write and write and write and write. Plays I like because, one, I only write my part. The actor's going to do a bunch of it for me. So it's actually writing with absence. You know that you've got to leave space. And that's one of the challenges of it. That's why plays can be, if you have an imagination that really works hard, plays can be fun because you're like, oh, and then this is happening, and then this is happening. But just reading them, you're like, it can feel like something's missing. Well, because the actors are missing, the movement's missing, the sound's missing, the environment's missing, you know? But I like writing that.
A Life opens September 30th at Playwrights' Horizons. This has been Beth Kovetz for Arts in the City.